with the stuff I've been posting about like the police and how I don't really have like a super positive like opinion of them, I keep getting comments like, you know, I live around cops and they're the nicest people, or, you know, my best friend grew up and became a cop and, you know, he's amazing. I have no doubt that cops, when they're like just being regular people, are super cool. I have no doubt. I'm sure there's like super great ones. I'm sure there's super asshole ones. Like it's just people. But it's when they put on the badge, okay, and there's like that brotherhood. It's not shared with the women. It's like they don't get to be a part of like the whole brotherhood thing. Like instead they're just like super bitchy, and the guys just like let her control this shit. Like I'm not going to just make claims without backing it up. I'm gonna show you guys proof. This is the issue that I have when they don't know the laws. Like when there's so many different like reactions to just filming in public. It's not okay. It's how people will end up getting hurt. Like regular innocent people who should not be getting mixed up with the cops. That is what I'm trying to warn people about. I don't want it to be too late for everybody before they like believe it. Like I don't want them to have a bad experience before they learn this. Like that's the whole point. I want people to be prepared, because like they don't treat people very nicely, and like just when you're so surprised by it, like I was, like it's really hard to put thoughts together and words together, and if we can react properly to this, then it will change. Like it will have to change. So I'm going to show you.
Working on?
Okay. Is it like school or something?
Just I have a blog and such.
Okay. Do you have ID on you?
I prefer not to identify.
Okay, I'd like to see it. You're required by law to give me your ID.
Actually, unless I've been suspected of committing a crime, I'm not required to.
From the government building.
From a public sidewalk,
right,
which
fine.
is perfectly legal.
Right. I have the right to detain you, okay? And I require to identify yourself.
Well,
you're not being charged with anything.
I understand that. I understand that, officer, but I do understand California law. Unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've actually committed a crime, filming a government building from a public sidewalk, which is protected by the First Amendment, is not a crime.
No, but I have the right to detain you, figure out what's going on, okay?
Okay.
You're addressed in all BDUs, you got a video camera, 2 video cameras, okay?
Okay.
In the hall is concerned. Okay, if no crime is committed, then no big deal, okay? But I do have the right to identify you. You are required to give me your ID.
No, I'm not. Unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've actually committed a crime, I'm not required to identify myself. Yes. No, I'm not. Okay, officer, what am I being detained for?
For suspicion of why you're dressed and acting all weird in front of me.
Well, suspicion is not a crime.
Right, it's not probable cause. You to investigate what's going on. Just so if you're one of those people who just think they're, you know, instigating and, you know, why can't they just listen? The reason that they're out there is to protect your rights. If you don't use them, then you end up losing them. They videotape in public to remind people that they're always being video recorded, and they have no like privacy. You have no privacy in public unless you make it yourself. That's like covering your face, like wearing big sunglasses, or, you know, like it's just like wearing your scarf. Like that's how you make privacy for yourself. But that's anything that your eyes can see. So that includes into windows and into people's cars. Like it's like that. So like the whole thing with like tinted windows and stuff, like it makes sense why some people would have tinted windows, and like why people wouldn't want them to have tinted windows, and like there's reasons for all of that. Like people aren't just being like silly for no reason. Like there's meaning behind it. You just gotta learn it before you like make your judgment.
Content like B-roll for a little story I'm doing.
What's the story on?
It's just for a blog I write. I'd rather not say it this time because it's not published yet. So, you know, just getting some B-roll.
Yeah. Understand why we came out here?
I understand.
Okay. You think it's a little weird that you're out here filming Juvenile Hall?
Okay. Well, I've been on the public sidewalk the whole time. I haven't gone on any restricted areas.
With that. Okay. But we just want to make sure that you're not coming out here trying to snoop around and do something. Because people tend to do reconnaissance, you know?
Yeah.
As long as you are in public, like on a public sidewalk and not on private property, as long as like it doesn't matter what you're wearing, it doesn't matter if you're armed. Like if you're in the States, then it's like it's that sort of place. Like in Canada, you can't even carry mace, so it's just a joke here, or else you'll end up getting charged for hurting your attacker. but yeah, this guy's completely right. She's completely wrong. And when the supervisor gets there, he's gonna back her up regardless. That's the cops don't know the laws. They're not taught them. They just make assumptions on what they feel is right, and that's not how it works. It has to be like written down law. You cannot just go by your feelings. You can't just make a decision because you think you're right. They have people that they can call if there is like an incident where they're not sure, and they just choose not to.
Law. I've been through this before.
Okay.
Unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've
I've
actually committed a crime. Okay.
So we have people that do reconnaissance on police, on our juvenile hall facilities, jail facilities, people that gather information, take video surveillance, try to identify us, identify our vehicles, do all that kind of stuff for malicious purposes, okay? And I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. I'm saying that you're doing this for a blog or whatever. So we're detaining you to figure out whether or not you're doing this for malicious purposes or completely innocent purposes. And if it's for completely innocent purposes, that's totally fine. But we do have the right to identify you, okay? And if we ID you and are we good to go, then you're fine.
And I have a right to decline because I know the law. I know my right. I'm not trying to be confrontational or anything. But unless you have reasonable suspicion that I've actually committed a crime, I'm not required
So listen to the officer.
to identify myself.
So the way a detention works, right? We don't have probable cause.
So this guy is dealing with this woman. He requests a supervisor. The supervisor comes, and then the supervisor directs him to talk to the woman.
Filming from a public
Sir, if there was
sidewalk.
probable cause, you would be in handcuffs already. That's what she's trying to explain to you.
Okay.
But we do have exactly detention. And we didn't come out here on our own. They contacted us.
Yeah, you got a call for service. I understand
So,
that.
and if you know the law, everything you.
I was watching an auditor this morning, and he explained it the best when he said that there was this 12-year-old kid who set up his camera on the sidewalk so that he could film himself doing a skateboard trick. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this full-grown lady comes over and kicks over his camera and starts beating up this 12-year-old kid, accusing him of filming her. That sort of thing it's not okay. People need to be reminded that being in public means you're being watched. You should always be watching what you do and say, and that's just common sense. But you're being recorded while you're driving, by everybody's dash cams. You're being recorded by all the speed, all the lights. You're recorded in every store. You have no control over who's watching it. You don't know who it ends up going to. So just having a person behind the camera should not upset people as much as it does.
This one's really got a gun at me. No, you don't touch me. You don't touch me. I'm at that address. You don't touch me.
Hey man,
No, you don't touch me.
when I tell you to take your hand out,
I've done nothing.
okay,
Nope.
you need to relax.
What have I done? Why'd you get out of your vehicle?
You're taking a picture of me, I'm taking a picture of you.
You take a picture.
That last one went viral, but that's if it was me, I would just fall down and die. I think I've always been taught not to be at the end of a barrel. I would dodge it, and then I would end up getting shot. So not a good situation. Also that cop got out of his car and then got his gun out, because he was offended about being video recorded. What?
Can I get your name and badge number?
No. Have a good one.
I can't get your name and badge number to know who responded to the call?
What's your name?
I never gave it.
Okay. I didn't give it either.
You know a damn thing about you. Supposed to be American.
American. Stand up.
No, you don't. You're not even out here taking pictures of a damn military base.
For what? They don't like it for the wall around here.
You got your ID on your butt.
No, I didn't commit a crime.
Listen here, man. What I'm saying is, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's an open door. You're inside. I'm asking.
Definitely went off topic at some point. I'm gonna have to rewatch it and see what happened. Yeah. Sorry.